Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Test, test. I think I'm coming through. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. Hear me? Yeah, I hear myself now. Check 1, 2. Coming in hot. It's pretty hot microphone. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. I think we're doing right. Hey. Be on the air in 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Okay. How's it going, everybody? I see there's 2 people watching, but I can't see who it is, but it doesn't really matter. How's it going? So here's the feed. There's a delay on it.
How's it going? So here's the feed. There's a delay on it. How's it going? So here's the feed.
That's weird.
There's a delay.
I'll watch that for the chat. Yeah, so I tried this live streaming out last night, and I liked it. I think it worked out. Sound was good. We'll come to the video quality and overall quality later. It's just about getting it out now and just kind of like, feeling the technology, using it. I have all the gear, so I might as well use it. I'm at home. So we're not really on air yet, so I'm going to wait for 2 minutes officially. Welcome to anybody who is watching live. And according to my phone, there's 1 minute left. Here's to everybody staying at home, keeping it safe, keeping it smart. Salut. There we go. It's a little sparkling white wine. Yes, I get bourgeois every once in a while. I like the finer things sometimes, Italian wine, French wine. Anyways, last night, I think we're on air. Hold on. Let's see. Are we officially on the air? Not yet. Hold on. Seconds away. We'll be on live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. I don't have time for this. I think we're live. Yeah. Hey, folks. Welcome to my living room. And we're here. We're doing it. This is Focused. And yeah, I'm just trying to be positive in this whole situation, trying to do something creative, trying to do something new, trying to do something innovative. And, now we've been given an opportunity to kind of chill out and, do your own thing and improve on things that you wanted to improve on, or just start something new, try something new. Who knows, right? It's what we got going on here. We got okay. So last night I tried something just because I couldn't get the instrumentals to work and do a live show. I just decided to break down my lyrics a cappella style so I could just have the listener really dissect the lyrics and listen to some of the style or the stuff that might get missed in the actual songs, or just because it goes by so fast and you can't absorb a lot of the content sometimes. I've been given a lot of opinions about how I perform and how I lay my songs out and stuff like that. And just recently I'm kind of realizing, that they're two totally different entities mixed into the song. The instrumental part has a life of its own. And I'm kind of working on something that just hones in on the instrumentals and the moods, and that it has its own kind of artistic value to it. And the lyrics, now I'm kind of, exposing myself to all the lyrics. There's a lot of growth with lyrics, if you keep at it and you keep wanting to improve and you keep wanting to get better and grow. There's the thing with lyrics is it's probably how you were feeling at that time and how you're feeling at that moment and at that age. And some of those thoughts and that peace of mind kind of last, and there are songs that reverberate through time, but some of them are just kind of like, in the moment and how you were feeling, and you grow out of that mindset sometimes. And so last night, Friday night, I touched on 3 tracks from my first album. It's called Free to Choose. That's my first album ever. You can stream it on all platforms. It's available to listen to or purchase. Bandcamp would be the best place to purchase it. And I'm not asking for any handouts or anything, but I lost all my work, and it'd be nice just to get a couple album sales and or some streams, whatever. Do what you got to do. Anyways, more news. I am launching a new revised website called amgrinding.ca. That will be, let me see, put that out there in the little message board. New site. AM. So that in that way, I'll just be a little more organized, and I could the people really interested in wanting to be updated. Why can't I do that? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so you'll know when shows are, and if it's in a city near you, because I've met so many nice people around this country doing shows the last couple of years, and meeting a lot of great artists around this country, and now more than ever, I'm seeing how valuable that connection is to other artists in other provinces and stuff like that. And now, more than ever, we kind of just need to reach out to each other and support each other, and support each other's crafts and talents. And, maybe we can help boast each other up and get some album sales or some merch sales or anything or whatever. Speaking of that, I have and have always had for a while great AM grinding focused hats for sale. They call them the dad hats. They look pretty good. Hold on. I agree. They look great. So yeah, you can buy those if you want, or just the album. I can drop it off on your porch. It's all right. Or you can just go to any streaming site and stream the albums. So let me get into it. It's the Bad Meat LP, which is my second full length LP. The first album, I never printed a physical copy for. It's just just carrying them around. It's kind of useless now. I don't know. Some people like CDs every once in a while, but it's just a big pain in the ass carrying them around and trying to sell them. And you musicians know what I'm talking about. So yeah, we're live here. Me, myself, focused, and you, the audience. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna read some of my raps from this album, the Bad Meat LP. And so, times change. Shit's going pretty fast in the last couple of years, as far as major events in the world. And I wrote most of this album about 4 or 5 years ago. It was a long process and a real long journey to get have a good perspective on what it was like to really make an album on my own again, and utilize people who are strong at their skills, and to and collaborate with people a little more on my albums, like I used to produce for my buddy Ben Poetical. So here I go. I'm gonna read a couple of raps, and this song is called Red Sky, and yeah, take it for what it is. So some of the lyrics I don't know 100%. I know most of the album, but I'm gonna read some of the lyrics off my notes, my cheat notes sometimes. So here we go. This is called Red Sky. Goes, mobilize the mobs of democracy. Even if he's innocent, the masses will determine if he's free. Days, years, acclamations, actors playing politicians' accusations. Star scream jet fighters in the scene. Terrorize and fleet as the innocent bleed. I feed in portions the profit for your scene to edit the footage and I turn up the screen. Prisons for profit, pipelines locked it, trans-Pacific, partnership toxic, cancerous cosmetic products, no cures and too much profit. Just ask your doctor about your medicated solvents. Lost on the prescription pill road, getting high as fuck with Anti-M and Toto. I got rolled by some flying monkeys while the Tin Man and Scarecrow fill up all the Dorothy's holes. The Lion Man tripping on acid and frolicking on the Emerald City floor. 3 hours later, get to the wizard's door, looking for ounces, fluoride for the fountain. Measured my skills by the sheer side of the mountain. Mandated, vaccinated, stressed into microchip planted, sentenced, licensed citizens, nuke plant, turned to radioactive dust, and still no one's listening. Ash to ash, dust to dust, burn it down because you don't give a fuck. And the hook goes, storm. Listen to the storm. The earth has been warned. Listen to the storm. Another life been born. The earth has been warned. Storm. Listen to the storm. Storm. Listen to the storm. The earth has been warned. Listen to the storm. Another life been born. The earth has been warned. Storm. Listen to the storm. So it goes. The song switches and it kind of plays some ambient sound, and then it goes into another style, and then it goes, these are the lyrics. Wind comes through, variance and changes, surge in my vein, and I'm tearing down cages. Emerge through the pain, knowledge, patience, persistent, perceive, present, matrix. Pleasantly resist the hate of personified reflex, peasants rising, perspiring paychecks. Purpose, practice, rise in deep meditation. Weightless thoughts of satellite studio stations. Speakers sue, sensations rattle in stadiums. Sound, self, soul, the savior of sequence. Tweaked, amplified electric static between us. Frequencies of matter frequently able to reach us. Fiend screaming, enfeebling in dream. Focus on freedom fighting, mind-bending machines. Betting on doubt and preaching profitable schemes. Relying on elections and tarnishing the peace. Bad meat, making money off disease. Survival of the fittest is how they divide us the weak. Race is just the tool to separate and defeat. Vagrant villains violating your sleep. Ferociously fighting to have my own beliefs. Research and philosophy fragged into beings. Fragging orangutans throwing their feces. Back on around and I keep on proceeding. Little doubt, ridicule with self-help. Self-teaching, did it all for the self-wealth. And the dreams no longer left on the shelf. And then it goes, storm. Listen to the storm. The earth has been warned. Listen to the storm. Another life been born. The earth has been warned. Storm. Listen to the storm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's a song called Red Sky. That's the song right out of the gate. And it's got a lot going on. It's got, there was a lot of shit going on in the world. And I was just kind of trying to absorb it all and filter it just kind of as a narrative. I wasn't trying to take any side of anything. I just like a lens showing what's going on, unfiltered kind of, and the second half of that I kind of wrote a few months prior to that, and it was just something when I started piecing the instrumental together, it just fit. Like I have that a lot sometimes where I have a verse that I wrote and I don't pay attention to it, and it kind of just gets lost in all my lyric books. And then I'm going along and I hear a beat and I remember that I wrote something that kind of fits that, and then I go back in and sometimes it fits and sometimes it doesn't, but and it locks in, you know it, and you feel it. It feels right. It's the right fit. And sometimes if it's the right fit, you don't really have to do too much finessing and stuff like that. And some songs I take a long time to complete, because to me the important part is just getting the idea out. Really, it's that Roger likes to call it lightning in a bottle. So Roger Angus, he's the he played guitar on Red Sky, and Red Sky was kind of one of the last songs I was finishing up, and I was near, I'd say 65-70% of my album in completion, and I needed, a different unique sound to kind of finish off a lot of the tracks. And you just want to put an extra touch on the songs that are already kind of good and just see if you can make them a little better. So anyways, I was going to the open mic scene quite regularly in Toronto, and one venue called Painted Lady. And I went the night that David Bowie died. I remember it very specifically. And earlier that day, I was doing some banking at TD, and I get to the counter, and I look to the side, and at the bars, there's this guy, Roger, who was doing my banking earlier in the day. And I was like, oh, hey, you do music? And he's like, oh, you do music too? And I was like, yeah, I rap. And he's like, oh, I play guitar and piano and sing. And so I don't know, it was a pretty amazing night with all the artists. Everybody just brought it. It was just kind of a magical night, just embracing what David Bowie brought to music. And anyways, we kind of locked in, his sound really started working for my style of music. And so he is a major contributor to the next album, most of the instrumentals he's touched on. So I can't wait for that. That's coming up in a couple months. I'll be done. Now I got some free time on my hands. So there's going to be lots of time to finish this album up and make it really nice. So I'm going to wrap the second song in the album for you. It's called Grind Sublime. And this one is pretty special to me. It kind of, I started writing it as I was going through the beginning of this album, and it kind of tweaked it near the end of the album. And I started taking big trips to Europe in the summers about 4 or 5 years ago. And I don't know, there was some gut instinct that I had to get out there and get more experience and travel and play with more world round, get more rounded as a rapper and experience in music scenes. And I got out to Paris and London and Amsterdam and Prague, Budapest, and did a lot of traveling. So I kind of did a lot of groundwork too, advertising my album and getting it out there and getting my songs heard. And anyway, the song Grind Sublime, I worked it out. It was pretty much complete, and I had 2 verses that were really long verses completely memorized. So it's perfect for getting up and trying it at open mics. And it was perfect timing when I started going traveling around Europe, and I had this track armed, memorized, ready to go, and played with some killer bands, and I got to record them and get the version of it recorded. There's one version I did in Amsterdam with a full out band. This amazing producer, I can't remember his name, but he played with all these huge R&B guys and stuff like that. And there's another version of the song of me in Barbados. I found an open mic in Barbados, Bridgetown, and I went and played with some locals with guitar and a couple of just a basic drum. And so yeah, I have a lot of fond memories with this song. This is great. So here it goes. And the lyrics are all over the fucking place. So a lot of the stuff I don't know, I'm just making fun. I'm observing things that are happening in the world and kind of taking my take at it. So here we go. Goes. Tax currency, the tools of the old. Relax, proceed to the nearest threshold. Fracked and slapped the human race as a whole. We sold the souls to keep up with the Jones. World water wells well poisoning your home. Scientists labeled terrorists by the throne. Rivers, streams, treaties all void. Fluoride, paranoid, bottled in coin. I'm bad meat, going balls deep. Interrupt your speech and disturbing the peace. A piece of sheet stuck left in the sheets, stuck in stupid supreme courts of the meek, the iron sheik, stronghold to defeat. Are keeping up to date with the freak of the week. Paid handsomely, courts ignored, proceed the CEO foes rat race with no cheese. A dropping of the beat, freedom fighters locked deceased, had the credits displayed overseas. Women's history removed from 50 piece. Mark and Marie turned over for the seeds and are thirsty for the greed quantified by the need. Warrantless rage just to keep up with the peace. Police brutality and abuse authority, and I reached the peak to face the concrete. You're saving nothing when you're begging on your knees. Run, retreat is the face of defeat. You're getting beat while you're bumping in your Jeep. Focus, fighting freedom every night of the week. Non-responsive mode? Well, who's responsible? I heard Nestle holding all the H2O. Oh, it's time to murder some COs. I don't know. I say some crazy shit in lyrics just to say it for no reason. And that was from the quote from the Nestle CEO. He's like, I don't know, he said something on the lines of, people don't deserve fresh water or whatever. I don't know. Probably taken out of context. But I like take a lot of things out of context. Whatever. It's all for fun and entertainment. Who gives a shit? It's just words. So the second verse, I took this song at a different approach writing it. Usually, I don't know if other rappers or writers can attest to this, but usually when you write a song, you're writing the first verse and you're just going over it over and over and over again. And the first verse seems to get a lot of attention, like your fresh ideas. And then, you know, you might be out of ideas by the time you get to the second verse. And so this approach I started writing kind of backwards. I took my approach at the second verse first. So I started giving a lot of attention to the second verse and writed the second verse first. And then when that was done, I put it aside and then went back at it with some new energy for the first verse. Anyways, here's the second verse. It goes. So I remember this. Grind so much, finding crystals when I shine. You must have missed me. Malaysian Airlines. The news is clueless, trendsetter for the time. I feel like an Asian being led into the mines. Enslaved in cage, laying tracks in the mine. Mimed out the mic, throwing signs to the blind. I'm coming back to haunt you. I'm the ghost of these lies. Provoke a roach, the stagecoach full of pride. Carcinogenic rhymes left frozen in time. Stifling advice from frightened cocaine eyes. I rose on polite. Summer solstice night, heading out of Venice on a red-eye flight. Set it in motion, sacrifice focus, paying for that knowledge, paying for exposures. Ariel Ebola, smoking that doja, whispers in the wind, and David caressed soldier. I barely slept. Met a Red Lobster. Joe Flaherty said there were imposters. Intelligence test, didn't realize it. I run around naked with a bulletproof vest. Parliament lawn, smoking that cron. Politically incorrect to piss you off. My sole interest is to sabotage this mirage. Living like a boss, berserk. Ta-da! And I paint a billion Van Goghs on a bra. I dropping bombs like it was Von Braun. Me, Patrick, SpongeBob, and your mom on an all-expensive paid trip to Bikini Bottom with Saddam. Yeah, so there's a lot in there. There's some stuff to figure out, you know. It's not laid out as easily as you like it for some songs. There's some digging to go in there. And between those verses are really excellent saxophone solos. And sometimes when I get a musician to record for me and the hook is so good and it's so full of intricacies. Sometimes I feel like I don't want to add any vocals to it and just have it leave it be, you know? It's just some hooks don't need to be a catchy hook. It's sometimes you just leave it up to the musician to speak, you know? So sometimes the instrument does the speaking for the song, you know? Yeah. Let's see if we can do some sharing here. We're going to share this feed. See how it's going. Give me a second here. So, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm good. You know, just trying to make the best out of this situation and staying fuck home, you know? Just doing what I can. Lost my work. Whatever. It's the way she goes sometimes, you know? And you know, that's life. So you got to do what you got to do. You got to do the best you can and hope for the best, you know? Yeah. So cheers to this. Cheers. So, if you just tuned in, we are going through the Bad Meat LP, which is my second solo album. And if you want to stream it, please do so on all platforms. And you'll see a sticker like this. Focus free to choose. Or Focus the Bad Meat LP. That's what's going on. So you can get it on all platforms. And please do stream. I am broke. Anyway, so I'm going to do a song called Educate. And this one is one of the last songs I made on the album. And it's produced by a gentleman named Ashton Price. He made this instrumental and he made the instrumental for Stay Focused. So the new album coming up, which will be finished in a couple of months, is all being done in Ashton's studio with Ashton, and him and I are co-producing it and co-mixing it and co-editing it. And yeah, it's good. He's done hip hop for a while. He's done all sorts of musics, and he's my age and is, you know, quick with editing and pretty quick engineer. So I'm excited. You know, the two songs I did on this album, on the Bad Meat album, were really turned out well. I was really impressed with them. And in between on the hooks or throughout the song, there's a trumpet player, and it's Steve. Pardon me, Steve. I can't remember your last name, but it's just the way it goes in my memory sometimes. So Steve played trumpet on this, and he's playing trumpet on a new song on the new album. So more information. The hook was sung by my friend Narani, who is chilling back home in Africa. Hi, Narani. How's it going? But she was very helpful with me for 3 songs on this album to complete the hooks. And I write a lot, and a lot of it is just ideas. And then sometimes I make an attempt at singing the hook or something, and then I have an idea who would be good for it sometimes, and Narani was perfect. I met Narani at a place called Not My Dog. I don't know if fellow Torontonians know that little tiny venue that was in Parkdale, where we all kind of, you know, met, and a lot of amazing artists have branched out from there. It was kind of like a little home base, a little shitty bar with a shitty setup. But it was amazing. There was so much energy in there, and I met so many amazing musicians that I've gone on to work with and have long friendships with. And anyways, she was one of the few that would go out and smoke weed, and I would smoke weed with her. And her and I, we just got along well, and we were kind of just really opposite people, but we had the same interest. And I had somebody in mind for singing this hook, and then she sang it for me, and it just blew it off the roof for me. So Narani, thank you so much for this. And she's got an amazing voice. She sounds like Nina Simone. Look her up on YouTube. So and all the streaming platforms. So I'm gonna read this one song, and hope you like it. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in here that people probably won't agree with, but that's art. That's whatever. That's music. Those are lyrics. One person's thoughts don't reflect somebody else's thoughts, and they're just lyrics. They're just music. So it's just take it easy. All right. Okay. So goes lack of vision, asking for permission, tough decisions, mind wanders into prison, perplexed requisition, request to submission, missionary tactics, brainwash natives to Christians. Now all bodies born lead to Rome, and your birth certificate found its way home. The double identity, iron fist remedy, been a business since 16th centuries. Maritime law merged become one, owned by the birth, death of the sons. Slave change forms and double the worth. Education plays on the spellbound words. So preach freedom and act brave. Prone to violence with low vibrational states. The courts, the commons, the commandeer for slaves. English language and the human traffic trade. So there's some heavy shit in there. And the hook goes, your mind is in a fumble. Your mind is in a stumble. And it's sung very raspy by Narani. And it totally matches the mood and the thought process in the song. And please look it up. It's called Educate, and it's on this album, The Bad Meat. And you can hear the lovely Narani sing on it. It's probably one of my favorite songs. Anyway, so here's the second verse. It goes, been lost for days, years, months, weeks. Passed out on the beach, got tased by police. Get a job to keep moving your feet. Ain't no time for sleep and competitive needs. Dazed amazed to the kings and the queens. Crush the castle, swing for defeat. Sent to jail, feeding those in need, and the taxes apply to spikes on concrete. Monumental actions and documented case. Full rehearsal, tweak frequency, brain. Bouncing waves from space to marine as we breathe the air and administrative fees. Legislative actions, indoctrinated speech, war on the words and the battle of belief. Absent-minded vets, private detention, centralize the state into re-education. And the hook goes again. Your mind is in a fumble. Your mind is in a stumble. It's beautifully sung. It's good. I got a message here, so let's see what's going on. It's hi Ashley, how's it going? My friend Ashley watching. Anyways, so let's get into verse number 3. Sometimes, most of the time, I write 2 verses, and that's like my max to a song that I can get out in a day. And sometimes I insert a third verse a couple days later. And then this is one that came later. So anyways, it goes, sun rays, ocean breeze, Phoenician dreams and the cognitive beings, visions believe in to various degrees, manifest a man right out of our dreams, dimensions of seeds, wholehearted beings, frequency squeaking, hieroglyphic teaching, pyramid preaching, medicated tweaking, reacted to mind and the vegetated seekings, altered the mind, connections, privatized state medication, knowledge locked in the Vatican basement. The soul's been sold, measured in gold, incorporated since you were 1 year old. And then the hook goes again. Your mind's in a fumble. Your mind is in a stumble. And then Narani sings beautifully at the end of the song. Just some ad-lib stuff, which was well done. It was amazing. Okay, so for some reason, my peeps can't comment below. Don't live chat. Here we go. Pop up chat. Okay. Who knew? This is all new for me, folks. This is restore chat. Okay. Participants. Here we go. Don't know. Do I have to? No, so I don't know how to. Oh, hey, there we go. Hello. How's it going? She figured it out. 1 5. Yes, working. Did it. It's working. Anyways, so my friend gave me an idea a little while ago to do something with my instrumentals that I'm currently working on, which is it's going to be like a new style thing. I'm not going to say anything else. That's it. Anyway, so I got thinking when I was doing this the other night and trying to work out the instrumentals to work through here, and I just said, "Fuck it, I'll just do the acapella," and it's cool. I think it's cool. It's a cool thing to do. So, anyways, I'm gonna do a track called "Disposable Youth," but there's supposed to be an instrumental in between, but you're not going to hear that anyway. So let's see if I can remember this. Goes celebrity sedation and internet sensation successfully slated into cognitive enslavement. Censored information for your consideration, skewed truth debated and divided into cages. Transfix the nation into fear, greed, and hatred, prescriptions equipping, emotions making all the papers. Vagrant for the vagrant, vagrants, embracing all the blame on all your local stations. The CIA created the war on minded slavery, a pill for the lazy and a pill for the crazy. Chemtrails on the daily and the pills will make you hazy, so medicate that problem Big Farm starts alarming and arming your brain with DSM fucking garbage, comfortably numbing emotions blocking all the problems, drastic tactics and dramatic geriatrics, distraction bandits while commercializing habits. Throughout this song, it's like a story. So there's 3 parts to it, and there's 3 totally different instrumentals, and they're all tied together by a flute. And the inspiration I got to make this song was Dr. Dre, Ghetto Boy from this first album, The Chronic. And it's amazing when a song is like a story and you just get lost in the story and you kind of paint your own picture of how it goes. And this one was a really tough one to work out, but I'm glad I really worked it out and it was worth it in the end. So the second part of the verse is more technical. I kind of looked up on how TVs work and radio waves and stuff like that. So it's just a lot of research that I put into a verse. So here it goes. Short wave voltage penetrate with pulses, gradient nerve cell prefrontal cortex, psychotropic doses, suicidal vortex, cranium exploring with the lures of endorphins, illusions of grandeur followed by emotions, motions of profit looking for endorsements, overkill proportions, overmill proportions, and millions of deaths still to be recorded. Tasteless in Seattle with the toothless eating apples, puppet masters prescribing OxyContin, Prozac, Valium. Just ask your doctor to evaluate the values, the passion, and the plastic, and addicted to the static. Triggered off with electric plasmic havoc. Addicted to the ad hoc, accumulating too much clutter in the attic. That was just, like doing a lot of research for those 2 verses, and it was worth it. You have validity to what you're saying sometimes if you know where it's coming from in the source. And that one was a tough one to work on. So after that comes this Trent Reznor style of beat in between that mixes in between, and the flute connects it together. And Dave and I, who were working on it, had all these great ideas, and we actually made a audio story that goes along with it. And I just felt like it was too much; it was too busy, so we kind of took it all out. But to bridge it all is a psychologist. Can't remember what his name is again. I gotta look him up. Sorry, but he has his own podcast, and he had this podcast called Disposable Youth that Dave played for me, and it was so hard hitting. What the quotes he was saying, it was so dead on, and it just reminded me how tough it is to be a kid nowadays with social media and shit like that. And it's a whole different world. And so I had this envision of a song that kind of would encapsulate the whole story behind Disposable Youth, because I had a lot of problems in school when I was a kid, and I don't know, I might have been handled differently if I was growing up in this age as a kid. Anyways, so I just try and take it from a perspective of the kid's point of view. Anyway, so the third part of the song is connected with another instrumental made by Ben Stortini, aka Poetical, who somehow has a magic touch on each project I do, whether he contributes a verse or writes something for me, or has a beat that he's pulled out from an archive of beats we've had for years. Anyway, so it was a very nice way to mellow it out at the end and complete the story. And I wrote this verse, man, it was really tough. This was a really, really fucking tough one, and anybody can relate who has written a song for somebody who you might have not have seen for a long time, you grew up with, and passed away, and you didn't really get to know them. And it was a childhood friend who passed away, and then there was a coworker that passed away. So I just wrote this part of the song for them, and then it just kind of floated around in my book, and then when I started making this song, I remembered again, like, oh, I wrote this song. This should work. It locked in. So yeah, here it goes. It's like a letter to somebody, basically. So goes, pick up the phone. I would love to hear your voice. Quick memories flood my mind, makes me rejoice. It's been a while, and I apologize for being in touch. Time racing by, I didn't mean to rush. I heard you had a kid, and that's wonderful news. Just to hear your point of view would cure anybody's blues. It's so easy to get lost on this merry-go-round. There's no time for family. That's what's breaking us down. I heard your sense, you're screaming for relief, and it's time to tackle the dirty work and roll up our sleeves. We need more compassion, need more relaxing. So slow down the money chasing, it's got me taxing. No text message, I want to hear you laugh about the time we almost burned the whole stash. Trying to find some time on this grind. I'm missing my friends and I'm feeling sublime. As I write more songs that are kind of personal, that they're tough ones to get through. They're really emotional, and but when you break through, they're really worth it in the end. It's like good. It's a good feeling to create something like that. And so there's a second verse to that part. I think I remember. Let's see. Oh, here it goes. I forgive you, and I know about the misuse. Let's talk about it. We're just blood and tissue. Reach out, touch a brother. Tell your sister you miss her, your mother that you love her. There's no reason. This is every day of the season. A big shout out to all the dads giving us a reason. A grown man that stepped up and helped the young lad. Give the youth a chance to put it right in their hands. Give the youth a chance to put it right in their hands. Give the youth a chance and put it right in their hands. I said, give the youth a chance and put it in their hands. And then Ben was hanging out at the beginning of this album, and some of my gauge of things that work is his reaction, right? So if he reacts in a certain way, I know I got it. And if he's very honest with me, if he doesn't react at all, then I know it's not going to work. So I just started freestyling something, and I was like, I was only 17. I was only 17. I was only 17. Couldn't tell me a goddamn thing. And he fucking fell off the chair. It was so fucking hilarious. I'm like, oh man, if he's given that reaction, then I know it's good. I've locked it in. It's something good. So the song is really, really long. It's like a 10-minute song, 10-minute, 50-minute song. And you know, I've always been interested in film, and I like making. I have an interest in making films, and I have, a good round knowledge of how films are made, and I think eventually I'll be making films in the future. For my first album, I made a short film called for the video Running Man, and it's first film, you try it out, and some things works and some things don't. But for this song, Disposable Youth, I would really like to do a short film, and it would be cool. It'd be cool dialogue. It'd be cool story to tell, especially nowadays. Anyways, so I got a couple more songs. I think I got 2 more songs, and chat a little more and having fun. This is cool. I like this. I like trying this out. I like breaking down my tracks now and utilizing them for different things to interact with people and just trying some new shit out. This is there's no better time than now, really. So this is the song that's man, I wrote a lot of these songs a while ago, and a lot they're just like almost words I can live by moving forward with a lot of trials and tribulations in life, and this huge test that I'm faced with right now, and so this song I wrote most of it when I was flying through Europe, traveling through Europe, and I was on the plane flying, listening to Daft Punk, that Random Access Memory album, and something hit me hard about a hook, and it was just like, you can't give up, you can never quit. It's a rough road, it's tough go, but it's it's all for love. I love the music, and I'll never quit. So I came up with this hook, and now it's kind of like my signature song that I can attach to the name Focused. And yeah, so it goes, never will I quit, even if I slip, stay focused, never giving in. Journey down the rabbit hole, urgency unknown, a feeling deep inside controlling your soul. Mind blown seeds sown, and only untainted seeds locked up in the North Pole. I came out of mind control with my soul, the talents utilized and honed. Grown man in the zone, no remorse for this course. Slung out wild horse, Italian Alps, 911 Porsche. Never will I quit, even if I slip. Stay focused, never giving in. Ruin my environment, label me a terrorist. Stay focused, never giving in. Never will they admit they created this world of fear tactics. And the second verse goes, view the environment with a different approach. Encroach on the roach, read it up, light another bro, blaze another pound of the hocus pocus. Me and my posse floating on a mushroom boat, over provokers and lady day elopers, even the Pope who's wearing penny loafers. Smoke and mirror driven by tears and fears. War from money-making mystical careers. Manufactured terrible political careers, debris and shrapnel. Crisis actors, militarized police benefactors, fractions of views, emotional views, boxed in the group and a captivated muse. And then the hook goes again. Never will I quit, even if I slip. Stay focused, never giving in. Bad meat went down the wrong street, ran me a marathon and blew off my feet. Fake friends fleed when you bleed. The cognitive dissidents struggle to believe. But hey, we all make mistakes. Open up your brain if you want to be brave. Look away, pay, adapt luxuries. Slave progress, human race possess. Never will I quit, even if I slip. Stay kiss, never giving in. Ruin my environment, label me a terrorist. Stay kiss, never giving in. Never will they admit they created this world of fear tactics. And the last verse goes, law and order on a one-day employer, imaginary lines just to keep me in order, drone patrolling, a whaley enclosure, passport stolen, blackmail border, put me in the system, digitally fingerprinted, subliminal submissions, radioactive kitchen, fluoride your vision, covering your vision, third eye crippling, likes and subscriptions, terms and conditions, no rights given when Big Brother is the witness. Never will I quit. So that instrumental was the other one that Ashton produced, and he will be working on and has worked on the new album with me. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. But in the meantime, stream away, stream focused. So that last song, Stay Focused, I did a small tour at the end of January in Seattle and Portland. And while we were there, I went with my friend Paul, who was supposed to go to China, and blessing in disguise got turned away. He was all over the coronavirus news. And he's saying to me, as we're in Seattle, he goes, there's a case in Washington State. And kind of joking, we're like, we should get the fuck out of here. And I guess we missed it by a couple of weeks, but we got our own problems here in Toronto and all around. And anyways, before we left the last couple of days, Paul volunteered to shoot some footage for me. And Paul, you turned out to be a pretty good camera operator. And we got a whole music video shot in Seattle and around Portland, which was fucking great visuals. And we got lucky because most of the trip was filled with rain, everyday rain. And then anytime we decided to record or film the camera, it was sunny and beautiful, which was fantastic. So thank you again, Paul Nelson, my bud out in Edmonton. It's all good. And look up their band, Holiday Monday. I don't know if they've released material yet, but when they come out, they're coming out like a bat out of hell. These guys are fucking vicious. They are good, great rock band. And I don't know, maybe I don't have a job. Maybe I'll go to BC or Edmonton and hook up with these guys and tear up the world. So many options for myself. And yeah, I got a new album coming out. I got a brand new website coming up called amgrinding.ca. I'm super fucking stoked for that. I have lots of things on the platter coming up. I have like I said, a project with my instrumentals from this album, the Bad Meat LP. And tonight sharing my lyrics with you in a stripped down version of the Bad Meat LP. It's really cool to experiment with things and experiment with the gear. And that's how you get better. You just get better at your craft, and you know what you're good at. And it's always good to be able to know technical stuff and stuff like that, and blabbing on, whatever. I'm going to read one more song, and we're probably going to wrap it up here. I fucking did an hour. I couldn't believe it. Talking shit and rapping some tracks. Yeah, this is fun. This is cool. This is going to be something regular for me. I think this is going to be a Friday night thing. And eventually this whole apartment is going to be a live studio, and we're going to upgrade like a motherfucker. I got tech buddies, and who can help me out with this stuff. So eventually this is going to be a live show every Friday night, and we'll be going live every Friday night, and we're going to have musical guests, and we're going to have live conversations. It's going to be fucking fantastic, yeah. So I'm going to read one last track. It's called Gamma Ray. This is probably one of my favorite tracks, and there's a music video on my channel, this YouTube channel, where I shot a lot of footage in Bermuda, shot a lot of footage in Bahamas and Barbados, and just a lot of B-roll shit. And everywhere I go, everywhere I've been, I've shot B-roll footage just for no reason, and then sometimes, I end up using it. So if you have a camera and you're an artist, just check it out. Yeah. Anyways, my friend Ashley is going live on Facebook at 10 o'clock. She's told me here, and look her up, Ashley Gilmore. Very talented young lady. She's going live. So I'm going to read one more song, and I'm going to wrap it up just before 10 o'clock and head on over to her Facebook. Check it out. We're just, artists trying to help each other here. This is how it goes. And we've been hit, been taking a savage beating with venues closing, and it's a tough go. It's a tough profession. Anyways, here we go. Goes. One-way ticket on an astral plane. I close my eyes on a gamma ray. One-way ticket on an astral plane. I close my eyes on a gamma ray. Never stop believing, never stop achieving. In my mind, I will and conceive it. My mouth I use as a weapon, AK-47, the truth I've selected. The root of the proof has been served and neglected, served to produce, consume the objective. Tethered to harassment, the youth is investment, arrested sentence and victimless crimes. So dumb down the lectures of the masses, crash and burn Saturn apparatus. Use the earth as a trash bin, bruises and brains, collected acid sins. Ruled in distress and succession, the news fooled us with abusive aggressions. Flooded the mind with productions in a uniform state of mind. Take me away. Take me away. A one-way ticket on an astral plane. I close my eyes on a gamma ray. One-way ticket on an astral plane. I close my eyes on a gamma ray. The last verse. Objects floating in space. Hubble's bubbles been replaced. Convex convolutions. Contours of illusions. I double my vision. Plain sight. Right through the prisons. Turning shapes into bridges. Waters through the mind, and my mind's on a mission. Since the beginning of time, precious metals on a minute man's mind. Prosperous nation prevails on a moonwalk. On the minute clock. I wrap the aluminum foil. To the victor goes the spoil. I rap to keep the coil. I surprise you like Susan Boyle. Ooh, ooh. One-way ticket on an astral plane. Close my eyes on a gamma ray. Thank you for joining me today. Wow, an hour went by. It went by quick. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me. The name's Focused. So gonna do this thing on the regular. Try it every Friday night. It's gonna get better, folks. Thank you so much for listening, and stay focused. Peace.